I attended the Long Beach Grand Prix yesterday, and year after year, I've attended it for the past 5 years. And every year that I attend it, I'm still fascinated about how fast those
Yeah,
cars go
yeah.
with the human being sitting inside of a little small tube. It's just a little tiny little tube with a steering wheel right there that you literally can do everything on the steering wheel. Back in the 70s and the 80s, they had to shift gears. They used to have this little pole running down the side, and the driver would shift gears on that pole, and now everything is done electronically on the steering wheel. You can control everything, the fuel intake, how much fuel you burn, everything from everything is in that cockpit of that car. And they show inside camera, onboard cameras of the driver sitting in those cars and how they're working that steering wheel. And they roar through there at about 200 and plus miles an hour, at least. I mean, they come down that stretch. I had a really good seat because I sit right across from cockpit row. And when those cars come in to change tires or, to refuel, it's just spot on. I mean, those teams, you could tell they practice and they rehearse just over and over and over again, because I clocked two teams, and one team I clocked at about 7.5 seconds, and the other team I clocked at about 9+ seconds. So give or take, on average, those cockpit teams, it doesn't take them long to change a tire or tires for that matter, or refuel it, the whole 9 yards. Car pulls in, they have a jack from the front, they jack it from the front, they jack it from the back, and these guys are on it. And next thing you know, it drops, and the driver burns rubber out of there, man.
One thing, if you're not into that sport or never watched it before, the only way you can win a race like that, it's not just about how good your car is or how talented that driver is. It's the entire strategy with a team, with the whole entire team.
Yes.
Because if you got somebody drop the ball on a team, you will lose. Because just like you said, how fast and how rapid they change these tires, that has everything to do with your team. You'll pull in there, because they know when you're getting ready to come in, you pull in there, they're already set with all full brand new tires and run right in there. And within seconds, under 10 seconds, if you go over 10 seconds, you'll fail it. So they're change all four of those tires less than 10 seconds, man. And it's just beautiful to see how, a team can progress and enhance your organization when you pull into that cockpit, man. And then all of a sudden you get your fuel, and most of the time they fuel and change the tires at the same time. They got guys right there with their fuel. As he's fueling, they changing those tires, man, because they're burning them tires up going around that track. So they have to change tires at least 1 or 2 times a race. So, man, I know you had a blast out there watching this thing, and a beautiful day seemed like it was nice and sunny out there too. Yeah.
It was overcast when we first arrived at the race that morning. It was overcast, and I was wondering whether, the sun was going to burn through the marine layer, and then sure enough, it did. Maybe they started a race around 1:30, and it started generally a little bit late this year than most years. They usually start around 12, and they pushed it back an hour, maybe because of the marine layer didn't burn off quick enough, because a lot of times heat helps drive and keeps those cars stripped to the track. I mean, if there's any kind of, as far as I would say, any kind of marine layer that could put water on the ground can put the car at risk, and the driver at risk, of course. You're dealing with mainly putting the driver at risk. So when that marine layer burned off, they started that race, and it was a race of just the strongest survived. And I would say one of my favorite drivers is Joseph Newgarden. He's out of Tennessee. He's won the Long Beach Grand Prix several times before over the years. And yesterday he got behind, and he didn't quite make up for the time because, his pole vault position wasn't up front, because a lot of times when you get up front, that's what they really do those practice runs for the highest speed. That's how they place you in positions to start the race. And like you said, it's a strategy. It's a team strategy. I was talking to a gentleman about a year ago, and he said that he was familiar with one of the racing teams. And he said that those guys have to be on point. I mean, I'm talking about those team members. If you screw something up, or you don't do something right, or you make a mistake, you're gone.
Yep.
There is no questions asked. You are out, because there's so many people lined up waiting to do a job like that.
It's too much riding on that thing. It's too much riding. Yeah.
And the sponsors who sponsor these teams, these sponsors, some of them are big corporations, some of them are billionaires, you name it. And they want results. They don't want to hear about, look, I didn't put the screw on the tire or the wheel, and it was missing a lug nut or whatever. They want instant results. And the race just was a spectacular race. Once again, and they do 90 laps. So that's another thing too. You think about it, you have to be in shape as a driver to do 90 freaking laps around all of that, that course that's in downtown Long Beach.
Yeah.
You're sitting in a car for almost 2.5 hours, if not longer, at the highest speeds. And can you imagine how much heat is inside that car from just the heat itself?
Yeah, they got a ventilated outfit. So
they do.
They have a 280 rear end when they get out, but for the most part, it's not like it used to be when they had to endure all that heat. So that outfit is really, really comfortable to be in.
It's kind of like a spacesuit. I think they designed it specifically for that.
Sure. Yep. Got aluminum foil looking stuff in there where you don't endure that heat like you used to.
Yeah. So it is what it is. If you think about it, if you have to make one last pit stop, you have to make a decision. Okay, I'm running low on fuel, or my tires are almost done, and you're in the lead of the whole race. You have to make a conscious decision on, okay, do I go into that pit and fall behind 2 positions, or do I keep trying to go around and keep trying to make it so I can win the race? And it's a challenge. And some of the best drivers in the world on the planet are there. I mean, you think about it, these guys, they're not amateurs. They've been driving for X amount of years. They did have one rookie yesterday that drove the first Long Beach Grand Prix. And it looks like Kyle Kirkwood ended up winning it yesterday, which I congratulate Kyle Kirkwood and his team and the entire organization, because it starts with the top, then it starts with the driver, it starts with the team and everything. So I can only look forward to the next one, which is going to be next year, and I can't wait.
It's going to be here next month.
You guys have Formula One, right?
Yeah,
that's Formula One. We have the Indy Car series. The Long Beach Grand Prix is part of the Indy Car series. So the Indy Car series is a little bit different, and one of the main differences is in most Indy races, they drive around in a course circle, on a track.
Going loops and turns. And
exactly.
Stuff like
that. So that's F1. And then yesterday, Long Beach was just like that. I mean, they go down that stretch, and then they make all of those turns and those loops, and they drive through, and then they come all the way back around. The drivers have said Long Beach is one of the best courses they've driven on. I mean, it's got a reputation of being very popular amongst drivers for the Indy Car series. I'm looking forward to trying to attend the F1 event. I hope to attend one in Miami. I'd like to see that one in Las Vegas, because they have one in Las Vegas as well that they just started about a year ago. My favorite driver in F1 is Lewis Hamilton out of England. That brother is got it going on. He drives for Team Ferrari right now. He used to drive for Team Mercedes, and he moved over to Ferrari, and just one of the best drivers in F1. They got a lot of them, but Lewis Hamilton is right up there amongst the top drivers in F1. So I'm looking forward to racing, those guys are they're like rock stars. Really.
Yeah.
They are like rock stars. They're very popular.
I don't know whether you remember, they used to have it here in Miami, downtown Miami. It was set up like you guys things are set up now. They used to go down,
right?
Yeah, right. But they used to go downtown, used to go through Bicentennial Park, go down Biscayne Boulevard, and then they changed it over to the stadium. Still nice now, don't get me wrong. It goes down through the stadium and come out over there near the turnpike. As a matter of fact, if you drive over there now, you'll see them setting up for it. And they don't completely take the whole course down anymore because they must have a long-term contract with them because they don't dismantle the whole entire thing anymore.
Okay.
Yep.
So the difference with that is they have to convert downtown Long Beach, and I don't know how long it takes them. I'm assuming it takes them about a month to wall off everything. They start
the stadium seats there. Yeah.
They have to put the bleachers there, and then they wall off everything. And as fast as those cars are coming down that track, if let's just say, for example, a tire comes off, the technology now has, if they crash up against a wall, you remember the tires back in the 70s and in the 80s, the tires used to just separate from the car itself and go up in the stands. I've seen those tires jump into the stands and literally kill people. I mean, that's how bad it was safety wise back then. But now the tires are connected on, so everything breaks away, but no separation from the vehicle itself. And that goes for everything. That goes for the shell of the car, and it goes for everything. And those teams are just phenomenal, man. I mean, I love race cars. I love race. You know, me and you, we like fast cars, and we like doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
I told a friend yesterday, I said, I could drive one of them cars. I can compete. And they started laughing, and they laughed and they laughed. But I believe I could drive one of them cars. If I get in one of them cars and practice a while, I think I can get a hold of it. I can catch on to it. I really do believe that. So I thought that was something that I wanted to share with you, you know. Well, that's making you laugh now, right? You don't think I can drive? You don't think I'm a good driver, right?
Because even when we was kids and we used to play with race cars on the track, those cars that we got from the hobby shop and down on 36th Street on Blossom Hobby. You used to
Blossom Hobby Shop.
You used to always take the Datsun, which is Nissan right now. Remember the Datsun 280Z? You had the little sports car and we used to race that stuff on the track in front of your grandma's house. So yeah,
I remember.
But getting back to the safety issue, is enormous the way they put the fencing up now and the wire that prevent injury and people from getting hurt, even if debris happened to fly off a car. It don't go out there and hurt anybody in the stands, man. They did a phenomenal job with that structure of the track, where if anything happens, it won't be no collateral damage by you being a spectator. So it's nice to see how they did that, man, because it's just a high fence with cable behind the wire parts of it, so nothing could come through there. So, man, they did a great job on designing those tracks now, the way they, protect the spectator.
Exactly. And you know what? Their technology, and somebody thought that. I mean, somebody came up with that idea. It saves lives. It saves the driver's life. It saves people who are in the stands, who are spectators' life. And man, they've done a fantastic job. I have to second that, because they think safety first. I would honestly believe that the people who organize these events like racing events, because they know how dangerous it is driving a car at 200 and something miles an hour. That defies gravity in itself, right? So if you look at how it's one of the most dangerous sports on the planet, because if you hit something at 200 and something miles an hour, it's still a possibility that there could be something deadly, or it could, you might not come out of it. So I really appreciate what the organizers, what the people who are behind the safety, they do for these races. And you and we're going to attend a race together. And I did get there early yesterday, and I saw the Corvette, the new body style Corvette. They had a race right before this race, and they had Porsches, Corvettes, Lamborghinis, BMWs, souped up BMWs, souped up Mercedes.
At Facebook and Twitter.com. Your voice is important, so head over to iTunes to subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. Catch our next episode.